Right. So the first question in part B in 2020 paper is regarding the learning management system, LMS. They are asking the two facilities provided for the students from the learning management system. So you can see the markings over here. Right. So these are the answers that you can provide. So go through these answers and see whether you got it correctly. If you got any additional or like alternative answers, just let me know. Any two of these will give you 2 marks. If you got any alternative answers, just let me know. All right. So it seems no alternative answers. Going to the second question. Right. So the second one, it is about fill in a blank. So the question goes like this. Consider the following two incomplete statements. E, there's a space is the primary storage device of desktop computers. And the B says an operating system is an example for the blank. So like the primary storage device or the primary memory is considered to be the RAM. Right? It's better they ask it as is the primary memory device. Storage, yeah. Primary memory, primary storage, and secondary memory, secondary storage. That's how they deal with that. So primary memory or primary storage means it's the non-volatile things. I'm sorry, volatile things like the RAM and the cache and the ROM as well. But ROM, we are not exactly the ROM. RAM and the cache, right? So here we got only the word RAM. Other than all others are going like hard-based system software, application software. So more suitable term is RAM. And in part B, it says an operating system is an example for it's a system software, right? So when it comes to the softwares, like if we like revise the things regarding the software categorization over here, since it has been asked. So like generally the software are divided into two parts, which is the system software and the application software. Right, so system software again divided into three parts, which is one is operating system, and the other one is utility software, and the last one is language translators. Right? So operating system is categorized under the system software, therefore. Okay. So 2 marks if you got RAM over here and system software over here. Right, and the third one asks convert the octal number 867. There they have made a mistake. 867 is not an octal number because 8 cannot be there in the octal system. So a bonus mark is given. You can have 1 mark for that anyway. And the next one, it says This represents the character Z in ASCII code. They are asking what is the ASCII code for character X. So in that case, we have to like deal with that. 1 0 1 1 0 1 0. That is the one which represents Z. So like if you consider about the place values, it's going to be 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and 64. Right? So the values that we are going to consider is 64, 16, 8, and 2. So 64 plus 16 is 80, 8 plus 2 is 10. So this gives us 90. So 90 means Z. So before that there is Y, before that there is X. So that means 89, 88 is going to be the X. So once 88 is converted into a binary, so to create the 88, we need a 64, a 16, which is 80, and 8, 88. So like, then in that you can write the 88 like 1, 0, 1, 1, and 3, 3, which gives us 88. Right, so that is going to be your answer. 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 88. So that gives you 1 mark. So part A mark 1 mark is given, and part B 1 mark given over here. So the fourth one, draw the truth table for the logic circuit given below. So here, so before you draw any truth table, you have to solve the circuit. So here you are getting A, here you are getting B. For this, you can be getting A from here and getting B from here. So this will give you A dot B, this will give you A plus B, since this is an OR gate and this is an AND gate. This is a NAND gate. NAND gate will multiply the inputs and invert it. So that means A dot B will be multiplied with A plus B, and then a big bar will be there from the above. So this is the expression. This is the expression that we need to build our truth table. Right? So to do that, we need the column A, column B. So the combinations are going to be 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, and 1, 1. And first, let's create A dot B. So that will give you 3, 0, and 1, a simple calculation. And then A plus B, that gives you 1, I'm sorry, 0, 1, 1, and 1. And multiplying these two, A dot B into A plus B. So 0 into 0 gives you a 0, 0 into 1 gives you a 0 into 1 again. 1. And the invert of this, A dot B dot A plus B, total bar. It's the other way around. So 2 bar and a 0. Right? So this is going to be your table. So for these inputs of A and B, this is the output that they are expecting to. If you got all these things correct, then 2 marks will be given. Okay, people, Are we clear so far? Okay. Right. So going to the fifth part. The fifth part says following two diagrams illustrate two types of file accessing method. Write down the file accessing method represented by A and B. So A, this is like referring like one after the other. Like you are turning the page of the book. We call this sequential access. And this, of course, you are accessing the places randomly. So we call it random access. Right, so if you give those two answers, you will be given 2 marks. Not 2 marks, 1 mark, 1 mark. 0.5 for sequential access, another 0.5 for random access. Part B, the operating system identifies the file types using file extensions. What is the file extension of the PowerPoint? PowerPoint, until the 2003 version, it was PPT. So any file name .ppt. After the 2003, like starting from the version 2007, after 2003, it's the 2007 version which is there. So it is given as PPTX. Right, so any of these answers will give you 1 mark. Right? Okay. So that's how the fifth part is done. So let me go with the marking scheme. So part number 2 gives you 2 marks for RAM and system software. And part number 3 is going to give you the bonus 1 mark for the part A, and converting the writing the ASCII code of the X, which is 10110000, gives you 1 mark again. So altogether 2 marks. And the part number 4 is about the truth table. So the truth table goes like this. So they have given only the inputs and the final output. So if you got the input combination correct and the corresponding final output value is there, so you can have 2 marks. And for the fifth part, writing the sequential access and the random access, you will be given 1 mark, 0.5 each, and writing either the PPT or the PPTX. Dot is not compulsory, so you can go you can go without the dot. So writing just PPT or PPTX will give you 1 mark. Right? Okay, so the 6th question. So the 6th question says segment of word process text document is shown below with some formatting done. So in this they have bold faced the fonts and the center line. So first one can be written as P and second one can be written as using this, the F. If you go the first one as S, then the second one is going to be taken as P. any of the way. And to have the square kilometers, so it's going to do the superscript, which is U. So for 3 it's U. And for the source, now since the question has not explained this is a URL, right? Because it's better if they're given the chance, otherwise someone can type this particular or some particular thing and underline it, right? So this can either go with the T or with the V, but in the marking scheme they have given the marks only for the V, but it's better they consider the T as well, because we don't know. We can just type something like this: http://abc.pqr.xyz, and something can be written and we can underline it using the underline tool. Still it gives the same appearance, but this would not be a link. If they have mentioned that in the question, like once you click the text in front of the source text, if it connects with this particular web page or something, then of course it must be a link. But in this case, since they haven't mentioned about it, it can be either V or T, right? So yeah, so as the marking scheme shows, it shows like this. Yes, it's the marks goes in this manner. So any combination of these two will give you 2 marks. Right. Then the 7th. Consider the partially shown purchase database table listing the purchase date and the quantity of the different items purchased by different suppliers. And they have given some details and the purpose of those. And the first question asks, write down the number of fields and records in the above table. Now these are the fields. Now fields means the number of columns that you can have. So these are the fields. So there are 4 fields. And when it comes to the records, it describes the rows which contain data. That means this column, this, and these rows. This particular row explains the headers. We don't count that as a record. So there are 5 records. So the records are going to be 5. Okay. So if you have those 2, you can take 1 mark. 4 for fields and 5 records. And part B says write down the most suitable data type for purchase date and the quantity. Purchase date, it indicates date/time. If you just say the date, it will give you the marks. For quantity, it's a number. As well as they have given the marks if you say integer. Right, so that is how the marking is shown. Right, so 4 fields and 5 records, that's 1 mark. And for purchase date, it's date and time. Quantity, it's number or the integer. And if you just write date for the purchase date, still they are giving you the marks. But it's better you go with date/time, because in the access we have the particular data type called date/time. Okay, so then the 8th question. The eighth question says, consider the following pseudocode segment with blank space labeled A to C, which calculates and displays the sum of odd numbers between 0 and 10. Write down the suitable expression for A, B, and C. Yeah, so like they have started the code, sum equals 0, it says. So sum is 0, and num equal 1. So for num, it is 1. And they are asking what should be the condition, what should be here, and what should be here. So we have to figure out, or we have to understand what they are expecting from this particular code, right? So they are trying to add the values or the odd values in between 0 and 10 and find the total. That means we are supposed to add 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 9, because the range is from 0 to 10. So since they are displaying the sum, definitely this particular total is going to be assigned to a sum, right? So sum displays the total, definitely. And there is something called num as well. So how we are going to work this thing? So sum at the beginning is 0. So when we have in this occasion, the sum is 1. 1 happens when 0 is added with 1. So it gives you the answer 1. Later, what you need to do is you take this 1 and add up with 3. Then it gives you 4. Then you take this 4 and add it up with 5, which is 9. Right? So this is the value of the existing sum. This is the value of the new sum. As an example, when the sum is starting with 0. Once 1 is given, sum becomes 1. So that's new sum. And that new sum is going to have how? 9 will be taken here, plus it will be added with 7, 16. This 16 will be taken here, it will be added with 9. So it's 25. Now they need to stop. So this sum is adding with these kind of numbers occasion to occasion. So it's starting from 1 and how 1 becomes 3. Right? So that's why we can consider this as num, because in the initialization, num starts at 1. Right? So that means sum added with the current value of num is giving you the new value of sum. So that should be the answer for the line B. Either sum plus num or the other way around, num plus sum, anyway. And now the problem is num. Now we know the nature of the num. First it's 1, next it's 3. So the existing num added with a 2, which creates a new num. Right? So this will become C. Right? So what should be the A, the condition? Condition says goes until, like, take the values from 1, 3, like take the values from 0 to 10, but only the odd ones. So like that means 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. So once the 9 has passed, you don't need to do these two again and again. So it's better you check in the condition with the num, because num is the one which reaches the 9. right? So you have to say num less than or equals 9. Or you can say num less than or equals 10. Or you can say num less than 11. Right? Even num less than 9 can also be taken. Let's refer the marking scheme as well. So those things, the one of these things can be taken as A. Right? So if we refer into the marking scheme, yeah, these are the values. Num less than or equal 9, num less than 10, num less than or equal 10. Even you can take num less than 11 as well. Not beyond that. Right? So if A, B, and C are correct, for A it is 1 mark, for B and C it is 0.5 marks, which is rewarded. So see how much you got out of 2. The next question. Yeah, in number 9, it explains following table shows some of the formatting tools of the GIMP software, and they're asking you to match it with these statements. Draws free-form selection. For the free-form selection, it's the 4th one we need. The lasso tool. Selects the required area as a circular ellipse. This is of course the first one. Create paths to select shapes. That's the 3rd one. And paints hard edge lines. That's the 2nd one. Right, if you got this order correctly, then you will be given 2 marks. Yeah, the 10th one is asking these 2 advantages of having a local area network for a LAN. So you can have this. Yeah, these have been marks 1B, 2B, C, 3C, and 4A. And the part 1, yes. Yeah, this gives you the advantages of the network. So like any particular point which is written away from this or other than this, let me know. Then I'll tell you whether it is okay or not. And in the second part, they were asking like according to the geographical location or the geographical spread, what are the categories that are being categorized inside a network? So it's local area network, wide area network, and metropolitan area network. Any 2 of those will give you the marks. Okay. So see how much you got out of 20. Right, and yeah, let me know as well, and give me a second paper, I'll be right back. Okay, Udame, that's a very good mark. How about others? Paper for the first one. Very good, Dinaka. Okay. Right. Let's move to the second question. Okay. As usual, it is from the the last lesson of the grade 11. So the second one, it says, for each of the malpractices labeled in A to D below, identify the relevant term from the list of terms and write down the term against each relevant label in the label term. So when they are indicating something like this, it's better you follow that, right? So A says steal important data and information stored on a computer without the knowledge of the owner. Yes. So they have identity theft, intellectual property violation, plagiarism, data theft, privacy, and spam. So if they steal important data and information stored on a computer without knowledge of the owner, it goes with the data theft, right? So it goes, it should be released like that. A and then the data theft. B says copying and pasting a paragraph to a document from the internet without citing. That is called plagiarism. So B goes with plagiarism. C, an employee using someone else's identity to gain financial advantage. That is what you call identity theft. Identity theft. And D, using someone else's innovation for other developments without his or her knowledge. That is what we call intellectual property violation. So D, this is going to be the answer. Let's cross check this. Yeah, A is data theft, B is plagiarism, C is identity theft, D is intellectual property rights. Mm-hmm. Yes, people. Yeah. It's answers. Mm-hmm. Yes, in the second one, it says write down 4 health-related issues that may occur due to the posture of the persons shown in the following diagram. So what we can see is he is not sitting very well, his back is not resting very well. So he will be having musculoskeletal problems, right? And as well as there will be he's like bending his neck like unwantedly. Then he will be having neck pains. Right, and his arms are not resting, so it can be move to a carpal tunnel syndrome on the wrist. And as a result of this, there can be what? Like what else that you want? Yeah, as a result of this, he can have the back pains, most probably, and his eyes are like having a good distance from the screen, so it won't be a trouble. Okay, so let's see what are the things that it can go. Now, just a minute. Yeah. So the part A, it says blank is used to secure data stores in the hold on. Did I miss anything? They are just saying write down 4 health issues. Yes, yes. So then we can say musculoskeletal problems, carpal tunnel syndromes, back pains, neck pains. We can go with repetitive stress injury as well, right? Those kind of things. So let me see the marking scheme. Yeah, these are things. Musculoskeletal problems and repetitive stress injury, carpal tunnel syndrome, headaches. I doubt whether whether he's going to have headaches. Bending down the neck will be giving the muscle strains. Computer vision syndrome, I don't think so, because the screen and the eyes are like having a good distance. Even he's wearing some spectacles, as it seems. And I don't know, yes, those are not very much suitable ones. So musculoskeletal problems, RSI, CTES, and back pains, and stress, of course, you can tell, right? Those kind of things can be taken. Headache and CVS is not a very good answers, people, but since the marking scheme says that, you can go with it. Okay, so the next question, so like 4 marks for the 4 factors that you have written, or like the 4 problems that you have written. If you have written anything extra, just let me know, right? Okay, and the third part says, consider the following statements with blank spaces labeled as A, B, C, and E. Identify the most suitable term to fill each blank from the list of terms given below. Write down the relevant term against each label in the label term format. Yes. So in A, it says is used to secure data stored in a stand-alone computer by blocking unauthorized entry. So backup, virus guard, firewall, phishing, password, virus, and spamming. So much suitable answer is going to be the password, right? Since they are talking about a standalone computer. B is essential to safeguard important data in an event of a failure of a computer. Yeah. So like if the computer fails to load or like fails to boot or like fails to access, backup will do. Backups. Part C is an act of cheating users to collect usernames and password of electronic bank accounts. Yes, that's phishing specifically. We talk about this. So using phishing, you will be receiving the deceitful messages to click a link or to access some particular web and enter your credit card and the username and the password and all these sensitive data, like by deceiving you, right? Which is called phishing. Part D can be used to safeguard a computer from harmful software. Yeah, you know that. Virus guard. A very popular answer. Virus guard. E. It says enter a computer as an executable file and can erase files. Yeah, it's the virus. Virus can enter into a computer as an executable file and can erase files. Yes, so the marks are given, let's see. Yeah, they have given 2 marks for the third part. It's like 0.5, not 0.5 actually. 4 or 5 correct 2 marks, 3 are correct 1.5, 2 are correct 1, 1 are correct 0.5. All right. Then the fourth part. The following table lists 4 labels and descriptions related to a computer networking. Match the most suitable term from the list of terms given below. Yes, and they're asking you to match it like label term format. Operates as a secured barrier between the internet and the given network. So if it is a secure barrier, it's always going to be the firewall. So for A, it's the firewall. B says example for a guided transmission media. Guided transmission media, that means a wire. So like twisted pair. Which has 2 types of twisted pairs, which is STP and UTP, shielded twisted pair and unshielded twisted pair. C says it connects 2 different networks. To connect 2 different networks, we need a gateway kind of device. So like there are many gateway devices. Like gateway is a common name that we can use. Right, router is a gateway device. And as well as what we call L3 switch, there are different kind of things. But for the moment, gateway is good. D, mode of communication used in telephone conversation. Yes, the telephone conversation, it's the full duplex, right? In D, it's a full duplex mode because it can be communicate both the direction at the same time. Full duplex. Right, let me cross-check with the marking schema as well. So yes, 0.5 marks. So 2 marks will be given. Okay, so yes, so if you have done this, just see how much you got out of 10, right? So that's the end of that question. Yes, people, and send me the answer and send me the marks as well. How did you go for that? Oh yes, well done, Ugamya, well done. Dinaka, that's a good mark. Keep it up. Denuka, well done. Okay, so moving to the third question. It's the database question. And this is another easy question for you to try. Yes, I will. Don't worry. We will discuss the question and go with that stuff, right? Okay, so this is a particular database, and these tables are there, which is supervisor, the table, and the project table, and the supervisor project table, right? So the supervisor table describes the nature of the supervisor and the department name that they are working with, and the project table describes the nature of the project and the starting date of the projects. And the supervisor project table describes which supervisor is working on which project for what amount of allowance, right? So the first question that they are asking is, state whether the following statements are true or false. Supervisor ID is a foreign key of supervisor project table. Supervisor ID is a foreign key of supervisor project table, it says. Yeah. Now, when it comes to the supervisor ID is the key attribute of the supervisor table. For the project table, project ID is the key attribute. And when it comes to the supervisor project, we can't take supervisor ID alone because it is being repeated over here. Neither the project ID alone, it is repeated over here. So together. So together it forms a primary key. But here the supervisor ID individually creating a foreign key. It is because supervisor ID is the primary key of the supervisor table. So when that primary key stays on another table, it's going to become a foreign key. Right? So due to that, the first statement is true. Supervisor ID is a foreign key of supervisor project table. Project ID is the primary key of supervisor project table. No, we discussed about that, right? So it comes with both supervisor ID and project ID together. So this is false. So the marks. Yeah, for saying true and false, it's 2 marks. For true, it's 1 mark. For saying false, it's true, 2 marks. 1 mark again, so altogether 2 marks. And the second part says, which table or tables need to be updated to accommodate the following changes. First change, it says Anura Vijayanayaka is assigned as a supervisor for the project P002 with an allowance of 10,000. So Anura Vijayanayaka is already in the supervisor table, right? So he's not a new person; he's an existing person. And it says he's assigned as a supervisor for project P00. So if he is a supervisor in project P002, so for the moment, for project P002, the supervisor is S02. Now S02 means it's Mohammed Nawaz. Mohammed Naswar was the manager of the project P002. Now what they have done is they have made the Anura Vijayanayaka as the supervisor of the project P002. Or maybe even though the Mohammed Naswar is there, Anura Vijayanagari is also appointed as a to manage the project P002. So anyhow, project supervisor table needs to be updated. Right? So yeah, for this it's project supervisor. Right? And the part B, it says a new supervisor, Pradeep Disanayak. He's a new supervisor. Pradeep Disanayak is not in the supervisor table. So definitely the supervisor table needs to be updated or like inserted with a new record. Joined the Department of Chemistry and was assigned as a supervisor for ongoing project ID PC003 with allowance of 15,000. That means since a new supervisor is coming, we have to update the supervisor table as well. And since he is assigned to a project, we have to update the supervisor project table as well. So let's see the marking. Yeah, this is how it says. In the third one, not the third one, right? They are talking about the second one. Yeah. Yes. So for part A, it's supervisor project. And it says 0 marks if more than one table is given. Exact spelling is required, including the underscore sign. Ignore case defects, right? And for part B, supervisor, comma, supervisor underscore project. Right? So, oh, that's huge. They have given 2 marks for each point, for each part. That means 4 marks for the second part. Right? Okay. Then, in the third one, on 15th on 9th month 2022, the university started a new project P006 with Mohammed Nasper and Raj Selbam as supervisors. An amount of 11,000 is allocated for each supervisor. Write down the new record to be added to the relevant table for the above changes. Use the format table name, field 1 and field 2 like this. Right, so it's going to be like this. Let me take the marking scheme and show you. So yes, this is the first part. Oh no, not the first part, the entire thing. The project needs to be updated because they said they are starting a new project. So P006 15/9/2020, that's for the project table. And then they have assigned 2 supervisors, Mohammed Nasber and Raj Selbam, for that project to be supervised with the allowance of 11,000. So there should be 2 statements in the supervisor project table like this. This is one statement and this is another. So 1 mark for saying this and another mark saying this. Right, so 2 marks for that. Fourth one is asking what are the most appropriate table to be joined to write a query to find the department name of the supervisor who supervised the project P001. Right, so they need to know name or names of the supervisors who supervised the project P001. So what we can do is, I'll erase these things so we can work on this clearly. So we need to find the name of the supervisors who manage the project P001. So what we do is, we find the P001, the project ID is there, and we find the particular supervisor IDs and referring them in the supervisor table, and according to that find the name. Right? So if we are doing that, that means we are using the supervisor project table and the supervisor table. So write an SQL query, you need the same table, same number of tables, the exact same tables. So your answer is going to be that as well. Right, so it's going to be this is no longer a whole. Supervisor and supervisor project table. So 2 marks if you have given it correctly. Right, and be very careful when you are doing these things. Don't write anything extra, write exactly the same thing. Right, so 2 marks. Yeah, that's the end of the third question actually. Third question. See how much you got out of 10. Well done, Gamya. Well done. Keep it up. Dinelka, well done. Well done. Keep it up. Okay. So moving, Sasrika, well done. Very well done. Keep it up. Keep it up. So moving to the next question, question number 4. Question number 4 goes with the HTML and the internet lesson. Okay, here it goes. The first one says, write down 2 advantages of using SaaS, software as a service, which is a cloud computing service for an institute. So when you have the software as a service, yes, before I go to this, someone asked me to explain the one-to-one, one-to-many, and many-to-many stuff. Yeah, let me finish it quickly. Right. So how we are going to recognize the relationship in between tables? It's like this, people. Now let's assume you are having a particular table like this. There is the student table, and you have SID, name, address, and class ID of that. And let's have some details over here. For the names, I'll take ABCD, address PQRS. For class ID, I'll take C1, C1, C2, and C2. So this is the class table. I'm sorry, the student table. Then there will be a class table. So it may have CID and let's say CNAME. So we have C1, let's say that's 11A, and C2 it's 11B, C3 it's 11C. Right. Now look at this. Yes, hold on. I need to do a small change for you to understand this thing. I'll take another C4 as 11D. First, I'll change my structure over here like this. C3, C4, and C2. Right? Now, if my tables are like this, if you want to figure out what kind of a relationship that you are having in between student and the class, first thing is you have to figure out which table has the foreign. That's the first thing to do. So like when it comes to the student and the class, you can say SID is the primary key over here, CID is the primary key over here. So that means CID in this table contains the foreign key. So if you want to figure out a relationship, it's better you find the table which has the foreign key. Now you match it. Now you see, you have to find this particular clue. You have to find for one student, how many classes are there? That's the one question that you need to ask. And the other question is for one class, how many students are there? From the table, right? Because we can't assume it, we can manage it from the table. So in our case, in this case, one student is having only one class, right? And one class is having only one student according to this table. Like S1 is having C1 only, S2 is having C3 only, S3 is having C4 only, S4 is having C2 only. And on the other side, C2 class has only S4, C4 class has the S3, C3 has S2, and C1 has S1. So each of the sides gives you the value like this. So to figure out what's the final cardinality of the relationship, we take the bigger number from the separations that we have done. So we have one over here and another one over here. So those are equal in size, so one can be taken. Here it goes the same way. So from that, one will be here. So now we can say the relationship in between student and the class is 1 to 1. Are we clear about that, people? Okay. Then story can be changed when the data is changed accordingly. Now let's assume this particular scenario. Now, since this is the foreign key, now my details are going to change like this. This is going to be C1, C2, C2, and C1. Let's say C3. Now, how the argument goes? One student has only one class. Again, S1 belongs to SC1, S2 belongs to C2, S3 belongs to C2, S4 belongs to C3. That means one student has only one class. And one class has many students this time. Why? C1 is having S1. C2 is having S2. Same C2 is having S3 as well. and S4 for C3, there is only S4. That means one class has many students. Now from this side, what's the bigger number? M. From this side, it's 1. Now we can say this is one to many relationship in between student and CA. Are we clear about this? That's how one to many is illustrated. All right, people, are we clear about this? Okay. And Dinaka, I'm going to change it like this as well. This line will be there. I'll change it like this. S2 and S1. Right, so there are only 2 students are here. And the class details are there. So now how the story? So first we found the table which has the foreign key, and now we are saying one student has many classes. See, S1 studying in C1 and again S1 studying in C3. Right? So in that case, this scenario explains one student has many classes. Right now, if we think about like a university, we have to go to several different departments to learn. Like one student has several different departments. One student has many classes. As well as if you think one class has many students, then C1 class it's only S1. C2 class, there are 2. And that means from here, the bigger value is n, as well as from here, the bigger value is n. So this is considered to be many to many relationship or m to n relationship. Okay, are we clear, everyone? Okay, that's good. Right. So moving to the next question, as I told you, it's the HTML question that we have. So let's quickly go through this. Write down 2 advantages of using SaaS, software as a service, which is a cloud computing service for an institute. So there can be these kind of benefits. Reducing software costs, because we don't need to install the software or like purchase the software into the computer. We can use it from the cloud free of charge, most probably. Easy software maintenance, yes. We don't need to update it. We don't need to like manage it. So like from anywhere, you can access that particular software. Receive instant updates, yes. It's like unlike the offline things, this will receive instant updates. So those can be taken as the advantages. So any 2 of those gives you 2 marks. And match the description label P to S within the correct term from the list of terms given below, and write down the relevant term against each table as label term structure. Identifies a computer uniquely on the internet. To do that, we need an IP address. Goes with IP address. Connects a web page to another web page. That is what they have used hyperlinks. So this is going to become Q. Convert the domain name into an IP address. Converting domain name into an IP address, that is done by the DNS. Domain name systems. Used for the communication between a web server and the web browser. That is HTTPS. Generally it is S. So this is for the S. Right? Let us cross check. Yeah, P IP address, Q hyperlink, RDNS, S, HTTP. So 2 marks if you got that correct. For early portion it's 2 marks, now it's 2 marks as well. So the next one is about the coding, right? The HTML code. So what they have done is they have given the labels, which is from where you can find it, and this particular list is also given. So as you can see, this COVID pandemic are being center aligned, and it seems they have gone with the header tags. And this image is center aligned again. These paragraphs are what? Justified. Right, and there's a space in between, most probably because of the paragraph tag. Then, yes. Then we have a sentence, most probably could be the normal saying or maybe a paragraph. Then, of course, you have a table. Right, and that table, originally it has how many? 2 columns and 3 rows. Right, so originally that is what they had. So to here, what they have done is call span. Call span. Right, so this is the one which spanning together. Okay, and in the very last, it has some particular link for more information. Yeah, likewise. And let's look into the code. They are asking you to fill the blanks. Yeah. So it's going to be like this. 1 is the title, since it needs a title. 2 is H2, the bigger fonts. 3 is the ALT, in case of ALT is not being loaded. What else is going to be there? And BR is the line breaker. I is for the italic. And TR for the table row. Yeah, 4th one is BR, 5th one is italic, 6th one is TR, 7th one is TD, 8th is type. We should say this one, otherwise they won't see it. And 9th call span. And 10th one is going to be an anchor tag. So like you can see for TR and TD, they have to separate 1 mark. For others, it's 0.5. Okay, so the 4th one is done. We are due to do with 5th, 6th, and the 7th, which we are going to discuss next week. As well as people, get ready with the 2021 MCQ. we will be definitely having time after that. We are discussing the rest of the questions in here. So like you should be able to manage the time that we have. So we can mark it the 2021 and write it down what are the incorrect questions. Okay, people. So thank you very much. I will see you on next week for the very same time. And for today, I'm going to end the session from here. Thank you very much.